There are nationwide calls to strengthen our Working with Children check system, with Aussies who serve alcohol receiving more training than that of nannies, sport coaches and tutors, while hours of training and testing on food safety is required to receive a Responsible Service of Alcohol card, an RSA. In some states, only a 30-minute online form is needed to complete the Working with Children's check. For their take, let's bring in Luke Boner from the Bonafide podcast and columnist Susie O'Brien. Morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Luke, if we take serving alcohol training seriously, so we should, shouldn't we be just as tough, if not tougher, on people who work with children?
Yeah, absolutely. And the story that has sparked all this is the most horrific thing. Remember, everybody is presumed innocent till proven guilty, but the spotlight is certainly on the safety and welfare of our children. Did you know that in most schools around Australia, certainly in New South Wales, it's not mandatory for teachers, who are often first responders, to do a first aid course? It can be made mandatory by the principal, but it's not something that has to go on, and I think it should. The safety of our children is the most important thing we can offer and we must provide. So I take my hat off to Hetty Johnson for Bravehearts, who's going to form her own course, but it's got to be mandatory. It's got to be mandatory because the message is we've got to keep our kids safe at all costs.
Yeah, Susie, what are your thoughts on how we do this?
Oh, we've been dealing with this. It's been a really horrible week down in Victoria. And, you know, that the comparison between the RSA and the Working with Children's check is really interesting because, you know, you can be fined $10,000 for serving someone drunk. You probably lose your job, find it hard to get another job. But you can be a childcare worker who molests a toddler. Yes, you'll lose your job, but you can continue working in other centres for up to 2 years while they investigate and decide if you're guilty or not, because there is no link, particularly in this state, but other states as well, between the bodies that you make the report to, and then working with children. It can take up to 2 years for a predator to be removed from childcare centres, and that is a massive problem.
Yeah, we talked to the Federal Education Minister, Jason Clare, on how many failures have been right across this system. The government is working on this, and you know, they've got to rock it up now. They're going to do something, hopefully. Moving on, Anthony Albanese has been called out of touch for sharing his list of top 10 Australian songs. It's very subjective, isn't it, this? It gets people really hot under the collar. On the list were songs from Cold Chisel, the Triffids, Midnight Oil, Paul Kelly, more. But some Aussies in the comments have slammed the PM, accusing his PR team of, quote, going into overdrive, unquote, to make him seem relatable and for not focusing on larger issues. Like, can the PM run the country and share his taste in music?
Yeah. Of course he can. If he didn't do things like this, people would say he's completely out of touch, or more out of touch than they perceive that he is. I like his playlist with Cold Chisel. The Angels, Am I Ever Going to See Your Face Again? I wonder if he sings the whole live version in public.
Yeah.
But look,
he does.
But remember, Scott Morrison put together a playlist when he was Prime Minister, and he got into trouble because out of the 146 songs he picked, only one was Australian. And strangely enough, it was Stimulation by Wah Wah Nee. Of all the songs, that's the only Australian one he picked. So he got into trouble as well. Listen, let him pick a song list, then we can all have something to talk about, and I think it does keep him in touch.
Yeah, and Susie, he's pretty clear. He's a big fan of Aussie music.
I mean, I looked at that and I thought, oh, very interesting. It's all Aussie music, of course it is. From the Angel to the Triffids, to the Triffids, to Spider Bait. And I think, it does feel a little bit like it's been created by a PR firm or, you know, just to make sure that he's got the generations covered. It's all Aussie.
Yeah.
So I say, are we ever going to see a playlist from a PM that isn't created by a PR firm? I don't know.
Do you reckon it was?
Do you reckon it was? Because he's pretty, you know, vocal about his taste in Aussie music. What do you reckon?
Do you reckon it was?
I just think it just sort of seems a little bit too conveniently straddling the generations, going from
outrageous.
like, you know, a few decades. I don't know. Like, I just think there's got to be some international songs in there. Come on.
Yeah, look, I think in his defence, I don't want to speak for that. I think it is an Aussie list that they've been asked to collate, but...
I noticed in the background they're not playing the live version of the
They are not.
Yeah.
We
No
want to keep our
way.
licence. Yeah. Finally, has the old email salutation of "I hope this finds you well" become meaningless? All various forms of well-wishing openers in emails have come under fire, with some people calling them benign, and that we've even become programmed to ignore it. Luke, should "here's hoping you're well" become a thing of the past when you stick it on the top of your email?
Oh, look, it's a way of saying g'day, how you going?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, back in the old days when we learnt letter writing, you'd say dear such and such, whether they were dear to you or not, and then you'd finish with yours sincerely or yours faithfully, whether you were sincere or not. It's sort of etiquette. It's a friendly sort of how you going. I understand why it can be annoying, but really, I mean, is it that important? Is it?
Yeah.
Does it drive people mad, really?
Well, some people it does. We're not going to go back to whom it may concern, Susie.
That's right.
See, I just think, you know, hope this finds you well. Why don't you just say hope you're well? That's what I do. But what really annoys me in emails is when people say happy Friday or people say happy hump day. I'm like, who's humping in the office? Except maybe on Friday. So, but
okay, note to self when I email Susie.
Yeah.
But I personally do use
into
hope
it?
you're well.
Can
I
you
think
get
that's
straight
totally
into
fine.
it and not do any hope you're anything?
What, so you just start to say, hey, listen, you.
Yeah.
I think I usually say I hope you're well when it's a PR firm and I'm rejecting their pitch. I'm just trying to kind of sandwich it with a bit of nicety.
It matters whether it's a PR firm or whether it's a friend. I usually just do yo ... and then but maybe that's not professional.
Warmest wishes.
Yeah, okay. Tell us what you do. See you guys. It's one
Happy
of the
Friday.
big topics we're talking about this Friday. See ya.